Like literally, the place we come from is very small, so it's kind of hilarious. I'm gonna try and get to Australia. Maybe in October there's some EB Expo. Yeah. So I was talking to Good Game, and they were saying that because I wanted to come to PAX Australia, but you basically have to always just too close. I don't know. But it's sold out. It's sold out.
All right, sir.
We're ready.
We're ready.
Good to see you again, man.
All right, guys.
Big fan.
I'm here with Dean Roggenhall, and he's going to give me an overview of what's going on with the DayZ Standalone. So, long time coming, dude. We're ready, excited. Let's see what we got.
Should we go into this? So I guess the first caveat I have to add is that this is not an E3 showcase. This is a development build.
Okay.
So lots of fun and exciting stuff will happen. I'm going to go into third person just because you can see the character.
Sure.
It's a bit better. So, you know, we've been playing with a lot of stuff, like trying to make the zombies a bit better. You can see that sequencing issue I talked about before there. So we're still playing with the animation in terms of we've come up with this new animation system and we need to sequence it. So yeah, we're just kind of demonstrating how it looks there.
But overall, it looks like you can see a lot of new animations, a lot more animated. Increased movement speed as well. Huh?
Oh yeah. So this is an entirely new skeleton, all new motion captured animations, the whole everything. So yeah, and you can see now you're actually going around collecting and picking up items that are lying around. And sometimes it can be difficult to get stuff. What we've got is now in here, it will show on the vicinity tab. It will actually show items that are nearby that you can see. So there was a misconception online that why it kind of defeats the purpose of having you pick stuff up, but it'll only show you stuff you can actually see. So yeah.
I also noticed here on the screen you've got different slots here for your genes.
Yeah.
It looks like you're gonna have different inventory slots.
Yeah. So at the moment it's just default, so everything's 6. But obviously later on we'll actually get it, so that it's configured like 2 pockets for jeans and maybe none for a t-shirt, that kind of stuff. Now another thing we've got is crafting. So what I actually have here is I have two segments of the map. So you can see I'm actually over here, but I have this segment of the map and I have that segment of the map. Now as an example of crafting, we don't have a lot of examples of crafting because we've only just implemented it, but it shows you the architecture. If you want to craft something, you can see it goes orange, and this is just placeholder graphics at the moment, but if I hover that over that, I can actually put the maps together and I get a new map. And this is a quick action bar, just like Minecraft, so I'll put that on there. If I push 2, now it brings up the stitched together map. So you can find little map fragments, maybe a map of a town and that kind of stuff, and you can actually stick them together. So a lot of work's gone into making all the interiors enterable. And
every building now enterable?
Nearly every building. I think we're about 95% now. Some of the bigger ones were just a bit impractical.
I noticed going back to the other building, it seems like there's a lot more items to pick up in general. Is that going to be something
we're actually looking at ending up with thousands of items. So we're definitely getting a lot now, but yeah, we've got a lot more coming. So we put a lot of work. It's unfortunate we didn't get the sequencing of the attack. You see how it's a bit out of line, and you can see how now we've got the prototype of when you get hit, your character's getting knocked and stuff like that. So yeah, we've put a lot of work into that, trying to have the jumping zombies as well. So, but it's only half done, unfortunately, showing it, and the idea that you can be knocked down.
Is something with Standalone going for actually making the zombies more of an actual threat?
Yeah. Okay. And having them all spawn server side means we can have like roaming zombies, collect like loot from vehicles and stuff like that. Another crafting example is this is pond water. I can actually use purification tablets and turn that into actual proper water. So,
excellent.
And we've done away with the UI, and we've now got more of like an output text, more like adventure game style.
That was something I was going to bring up. I'm like, where do you see like your broken legs and your?
Yeah, so you'll be able to tell you've got a broken leg because you won't be able to walk. But let's say you splint it, you actually limp along like that.
So everything is visual now, no more.
Visual, that's right, or audio, so audible. but we're also thinking about those who are hearing impaired and visually impaired, so we're trying to think about that, and that's where this kind of comes from here. We also want to make it very stream and YouTube friendly. That's why having a minimal UI is quite good. So, whoops. I really want to redo this building. I just don't like the interior. We played around with the textures, but I'm just not happy with it. I think it's one of the early buildings in Arma 2, so it's not quite there. So yeah, there's a lot we want to do with it. This is really just a platform. We feel like we're very close to an alpha release, like very imminent, but we don't want to give a date because we don't want to disappoint people. We believe it's important for us to fix certain things and get certain things working, and then then release.
Have you discussed at all any of the models of getting into alpha? Similar to Arma 3, pre-order and alpha?
Yeah, exactly. So we're probably not going to go with pre-orders because we just think that Arma 3 had a lot longer to get ready than we sort of do. We've got some ideas. So you can see here I can actually change my hoodie. These boxes in the middle here, like eyewear and top, they're just temporary. They're there just to assist us, because what we're actually going to have it is you click on his body and drag the jacket off. You can do it from here, or the idea is you can actually do it from
right off the body.
But we've got to get around how, at the moment we kind of like it how you can turn your character around and study it, so we might shift that to the right mouse button and then have the left mouse button dragging off.
Yeah, I think a lot of players are going to really appreciate that inventory system.
Well, look, I know it doesn't look very sexy, but I really like it. Like, I just think it's a huge improvement over what we had before. It's still very programmer art, but the idea of focusing on 3D models, I think, we're going to turn off mapping and that. But yeah, I think it's a lot better, and I think we can keep developing it and do even better. But yeah, you don't have to drag and drop.
How does it work when you have backpacks?
Backpacks, let's see if I can find one. I'm sure I saw one back there before. Yeah, so backpacks will have a big amount of space. You can put stuff in. I guess the inventory was inspired by XCOM, the original XCOM, the idea of having, little components and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we've got a lot planned with the inventory. We might even implement later on a weight system. But what we want to do is get out the current version of what we have now and actually see what people think and find the problems. So we have full-length books. I don't know whether this will work. Oh dear. And I've been knocked outside the wall. Look at that. Yeah. That's what we call an alpha, ladies and gentlemen. It took a bit to die, that guy. I don't know whether this will work. No, it doesn't. But the idea is we're supposed to have full-length books that players can have. I just show this as an example of we're adding a lot of sort of, I guess I'd call esoteric sort of
flavor.
Yeah,
flavor about the world and kind of really understand maybe a story, what's going on here.
Yeah, we don't know what players will do. So that's full-length books like that people, that like copyright expired books and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be adding that. Another thing we're doing, it's not going to be in for the alpha, but it'll come in shortly after that, is instead of having loot spawned by the game server, we have a central authentication server that will tell the game server what loot it's allowed to spawn. So that means we can actually manage the whole economy. So we're going to have like maybe one book that there'll only be one of those in the whole world out of all the servers in the world. And same with gear, like maybe like really good weapons with like thermal sights and that, there might be only a few of them in the whole world. So so we're going to be able to manage the actual economy itself.
And I see it's all just tied into resources and crafting. Everything is going to be crafted by players.
Yeah, and in fact, I can't show it at the moment, but we've done this Minecraft style. You can interact with the environment, so you can go up to trees and like chop wood, pick up stones from the ground, and then you can use those in the stuff you're crafting. So we've got a long way to go with that route, but we just want to get into the alpha and get feedback.
So we're not going to be terraforming and building tunnels yet. Not yet.
No, I don't think so. Not yet.
No tunneling underground.
Yeah, we really need to get this. I think there's a lot of people who maybe are going to be a bit disappointed with the DayZ Standalone when it comes out, because it's really gone back to basics. We want to get that. We want to get what made the DayZ mod great, work right first before we do any of the ridiculous stuff.
That's really interesting. Did you find through the development cycle that you guys were adding and changing so many things that there's too many variables and questions that might end up destroying the experience?
Exactly, yeah. So we just want to nail that core DayZ experience. So I think there's a lot of people, hopefully, who aren't going to buy it in alpha, who'll maybe consider it later on. And that gives us the time and the breathing space to just work with the real fans of the game and get this base stuff really working how we want. Like, yeah, that's really, I guess, my hope. And that's why we want to show people where we're at with all the bugs, with everything. Yeah.
How about the landmass? Has the landmass changed at all?
Yeah, let's just see if I can get to a place where zombies are going to attack me. That might be
That's
hard.
probably not a good spot.
Let's just quickly. Yeah, I can go into. I don't know if you wanted me to go into camera mode.
Sure.
That fits with. Hopefully, we're.
I'm sure DayZ fans would love to see it.
Have you guys determined a launch date yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Patiently waiting.
Exactly. Yeah, so we've done a lot of work. You can actually see, if I go forward, you can see some of the new areas. So we're using real satellite data. This is how our map designers work. They put the real satellite data in and then build the world over top of it. So this is all new to the north of the map that's being redeveloped. So you can see, you know, they're putting a lot of work in to really just make this whole new areas in the map. So it's really hard to control this. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of work being done. New grass, the vegetation's all been redone. Much more high fidelity in terms of the satellite map. And if I can find, this is a new area here, the swamp marsh. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go north and show you one of the cool little things we've got in. Here we go. So this is the first of many different things that we've been adding, new buildings and particularly unique buildings that we think players will use, like maybe as like a fort or something like that. So this is all fully enterable. You can actually go inside the bridge. My camera's like, it's kind of hard because I'm doing this with my camera. Yeah, so you can actually go through.
This place is going to be highly contested.
Yeah, and like a lot of loot spawn and stuff like that in here. So yeah, I really think this is going to be quite highly contested. A zombie's killing me right now. Hopefully it'll stop. Yeah, so yeah, you know, where this is a big aim of ours. We want to have lots of areas like this. You know, we've got like castles and prisons and all sorts of stuff that we want to be adding. So a lot of work went into this stuff. So I'm very, very proud of what our artists were able to do.
What are your thoughts on some of the stuff that you've seen with some of the other modders out there and stuff actually taking it and doing it?
I think it's fantastic. Like we've been looking at trying to do some of that kind of stuff, but yeah, you know, we just need to nail that core experience first. Like I just think that's very, very important.
Very good stuff. I have to ask the question everybody's going to want to know: is there a release date set or quarter or anything whatsoever?
Yeah, no release date. We're being very like, we just don't want to disappoint people again. Like, I know a lot of people were disappointed in December, and I still take a lot of flack over that. But we really feel that the release is imminent, so we're really not talking about long at all. But I really must encourage people that if they've got concerns. You know, there's a lot of bugs. You can already see, you know, a lot of bugs and stuff. If they've got concerns, they're better off waiting until further into the development, because it doesn't hurt us as a project. If the initial alpha sales are quite modest, that actually helps us, because then we can make sure the release is very stable.
But it's really interesting how you guys are taking that, and because you're really open and transparent about showing this stuff. Like, you're totally fine with showing these animations. You're being like, hey, they're kind of not really right yet, but here they are.
I'm not sure that anyone else is showing at E3 a pre-alpha development.
No. I haven't seen one. This is definitely the first one. You're completely okay with it. But I think it also speaks to the type of player who plays the game. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they actually really like to see this kind of stuff, because they're much more of like a hardcore, nitty-gritty. It was a massive risk. I'm gonna be real honest. Like, I encouraged a lot of really big risks. Last year, we decided, we're going to redo it as an MMO, and it looked really bad. In December, it looked like we might even have to scrap everything and start again. Like, really?
They were very big risks, but I'm glad we took them, because without doing this, Like, you can't really see it now because it's not in multiplayer, but it just makes a massive difference. You know, we can have roaming zombies, we can spawn all the zombies at the start of the mission, we can spawn all the loot at the start of the mission. You know, we've got 100,000 loot items. At the moment, we're spawning for testing purposes, and you can see, even running a non-multiplayer, the performance is great. So now, like with the MMO version, your client doesn't have to do all this analysis. So yeah, well, there's a lot of win, but it was risky.
Very, very cool. Well, if you don't have that core nailed, right, you don't have anything else. So
Exactly.
All the other bells
figured.
and whistles don't really make a difference if you don't have that core
Late
nailed.
last year, we thought if we don't do this, if we don't go out and make it based on an MMO architecture, then there was no point in making the game. Like, it would just be a hack fest, and yeah, we just end up making people sad. This is my favorite item in game.
Helmets, yeah, that was the first thing I wanted to find. I found one before while I was playing.
And it has practical benefit. Like, it helps you with melee attacks, stopping melee attacks, and you get much less shock value because you can go unconscious. But if you have a helmet, it helps you lots.
Dean Rocketall, thanks so much, man. Always good to see you.
Cheers.
Hope
It's
you guys
always good to
check
talk
it
to
out,
Gamebreaker.
and,
So
we'll be doing some interviews soon. Awesome.
definitely. Yeah, I look forward to showing you guys it in real.